keeping on the theme of ferrets, really exciting to bring in Steve Allan, who has been working on this problem that we're having with ferrets. And this is super exciting. So this is like the breakthrough revelation scoop of the workshop. Here is, for the first time, Steve Allan's ferret trap. Are you there, Steve?
Yep, I'm here. Thank you very much, Nairi.
All right, Steve, good to have you at the workshop. I know people have been asking for years. Can you please get Steve at the workshop? And finally, you are here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take it away.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. For those who don't know me, I'm Steve Allan, a trapper since a schoolboy in the mid-70s. And then in the early 90s, out of need and a desire to have kill traps, I started making my own possum traps. And then we converted those traps to kill traps for feral cats. And we've got to the stage where, as not only a designer, we're busy manufacturing, and a need for a ferret trap is our current project. So the last couple of years, we've been down to the South Island. First trip was a bit of a failure because we had to rush back because of COVID. And last year we went back down to Twizel and we caught some live caught ferrets in a live captured cage and watched them interact with this trap. But if we could have the next slide, please. Oop, didn't know that was the next one. Yeah, something's gone wrong. Well, that's myself in our workshop. So for us as a trap maker, we make our own virtually everything. So we make our own tooling equipment, and now that we've upgraded, I don't have to make my own power anymore. But yeah, we're all pretty much in-house, which makes it a number of advantages. We can time efficient in developing a design. We can I don't have to go back to an engineer or something. I can just go straight out to my workshop and make any adjustments. So we could go to the next slide, please. Okay, this was what we're trying to achieve. Ease of use when it came to a ferret trap. Unfortunately, ferret traps really do have to be powerful because the ferrets are extremely tough to kill in a humane fashion. Cost of production. Yeah, if we go ahead with this trap, we're looking at the trap at about $60. A lot of my gear is small and compact, which makes it less scary looking to the public. And the other thing I was wanting to achieve was a trap that looked different to other traps. So if a ferret was uncomfortable approaching a different ferret trap, we would have an alternative for it to be approaching. And of course, ease of use was the big thing. Yeah, the amount of power, as I said earlier, is it's just unfortunately what we have to have in a ferret trap. Could we go to the next slide, please? So while we've been trialing these traps, we've got a little bit of bycatch. The little bit of trapping I've done before I had to stop trapping myself because of health reasons, we picked up 2 small female stoats, a number of rats, including this 505-gram monster. And if you have a look at the other thing that we've done with these traps is design a box specifically for the trap. And these are hinged at the back, so they lift out and lift backwards, and then you can fully access the trap. And the other bycatch is hedgehogs, so we're quite happy with that. So can we have the next slide, please? So yeah, a lot of the design behind the trap was from the existing SA2 cat trap that we've learned a lot of lessons over the last 16 years that we've had it. And we've taken the lessons learned and just changed the engineering a bit. So even though it's a double spring trap now, it's still relatively easy to use. could we move on to the next slide, please? Oh, this is our video. This will, if you click that on, that'll show the trap being set.
I'm Steve Allan, and this is the SA4 Ferret Trap we're developing. Clearly based on the very successful SA2 trap, with a few changes to make it more suitable for ferret. We made it double spring for the extra power we need. We've changed the design to make it easy to set despite the power in it. The changes also mean that the trigger system stays very light with only 20 to 30 grams of pressure by the ferret needed to release it. We've also developed a box specifically for the trap. Got 2 small feet, keep the trap off the ground, it's drier. It's a side entry. The also key aspect is that it's a tilt to give us full access to the trap. Now for most people to set the trap, all they would need to do is get up above it, get their body weight over the trap, depress it, and then they can easily put the trigger mechanism in place and the trap's set. For those who don't have the strength to do that, it's designed for the trap to be wedged over using a screwdriver, and we can go through that. So place it in the little washer that's there, pull the trap over, and once again just put the trigger into place, and then we can close the box and it's set.
Okay, yeah, sorry about the quality of that. That sort of puts me. Yeah, so the results so far is that we sent a trap down to a novice trapper in Alexandra, and on the second night she caught a first ferret with the trap. So I sent her a few more, and very quickly, with the 12 traps that she had, she caught 29 ferrets in 4 weeks. Unfortunately, she's had to stop trapping at the moment because she works in a vineyard and she's doing because of harvesting grapes. And last week I got a photo from Taranaki. I sent one trap to a guy down there several weeks ago, and in an area where they don't catch many ferrets, yeah, with the one trap he's managed to catch a ferret in a fairly quick time. So really, really pleased with the way the trap's performing with people that are new to trapping. The sheer numbers that they're getting. So if we could just move on to the next one. Yeah, so what we're going to do, just get a slightly bigger sample size. We're up to 30 ferrets now. Once we get to 50, I'll be fairly comfortable that the trap design is close to the mark. During the winter months, I'll develop the tooling equipment to make the trap, because that's what we do. We do all our own in-house manufacturing, including making the tooling equipment. And then if there's buy-in to the trap, I'd like to have 200 or 300 traps out by early December, just to have a bigger sample of the performance of the trap. And subject to how well that goes, the earliest we could do any NEWAC testing would be March, April next year. The testing that we've done so far in-house suggests rather at least very, very close to being able to pass that, although experience is telling me that it's going to be an extremely difficult pass to get on ferrets. But even if the trap is performing well, proving to be effective, and it fails a NEWAC test, we will still manufacture it, because there's any number of people who still use it because they'll put kiwis before the ferrets. And one final thing, with the box, although the box is specifically designed for that trap, we don't have any intention to make the boxes ourselves. It's purely the trap that we're developing towards being a commercial product. So that's about all I've got at the moment. It's a bit, just continue to develop the trap. The question here about what's an EWAC test? That's the humane testing. So 10 out of 10 ferrets would have to be dispatched in a humane fashion, and you got a time frame of 3 minutes per animal. The two that we've tested on, including a 1640 gram ferret, met that standard, but that was in-house. So we're clearly close to meeting an EWAC standard, but 10 out of 10 for ferrets is a big ask. And the issue with ferrets is they come in such big sizes. You can have them as small as 400 odd grams all the way up to 1700 grams. And so that creates different strike positions on the body. Another question just popped up there about what bait. Ferrets tend to go for a lot of different things. The lady in Alexandra, who's new to trap, used a lot of venison, but I would encourage people to use rabbit and hare, and use, as Tina just demonstrated, lots of lure. And the next question that just popped up about stoats, we have caught the 2 stoats in it, and within the little bit of trapping I've been able to do, while I was still able to get out in the field, we picked up the 2 small females, but I did not get the impression at this stage I would class it as an effective stoat trap at this early stage.
Okay, cool, Steve. I'll stop you there. I see you've run your own question and answer session. Yep. And Andy, a break. Good on you, mate. You're an innovator as always. Take it into your own hands. That's awesome. It's great. We all love your traps, and it's great that you have been keeping on the inventing. Thank you so much, and I'm sure we can keep working with you on the boxes. We'll keep supplying prototypes. You tell us when we get it right, and I'm sure we can get that sorted so you can focus on the trap.
Awesome. Sorry.
Yeah, good one, Steve. And so we've got one spot prize question for one of these Victor Pro Snappy style rat traps. When are Steve's first prototype traps coming out? Those first 200 or 300? Andy, you've got to pick one of those.
I think I saw Graham come up first.
Okay, you go for Graham. Thank you to Dead Rat Limited, Graham. And I know Dead Rat Limited also sells Steve's SA2 traps if people are needing just to buy 1 or 2. Thank you so much, Steve. We look forward to this invention, this creation, this trap coming onto the market.
Can I quickly just add one little thing?
All right, just because it's you.
I'm just referring back to those wonderful the numbers that you presented there with the feral cat tally. Looking at those numbers from a slightly different angle, last year there was 4.5 tonnes of feral cats caught, and that brings the tally in the last 3 years to just over 10 tonnes of feral cats.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes it a bit more graphic, doesn't it?
Yeah, when I'm writing that down, that can go in the press release. 10 tonnes of feral cats.
In the last 3 years.
In the last 3 years.
Yeah, that should get a bit of interest.
Yeah, it was interesting when we presented to the Whangarei District Council Animal Bylaw Review, we showed our results, or showed all your results, everyone, on how many feral cats are being caught, to go, we don't want to be doing this. We don't want to be picking up the feral cats in the forests. Keep those cats at home, look after them, get them microchipped. We don't want to clean up the mess that gets left in the forest once those cats are escaping and go wild.
Yep.
Alrighty. Okay, thank you, Steve. We are going to